Hey, and welcome to Vlogmas Day. I'm not really sure because I don't know when this video is going to go up. I have not gone back there and looked at my calendar. I just finished cooking the last thing. I've made this over a couple of days, so I'm not even sure. I'm just not even sure. But the point is you're seeing it, and it is still Vlogmas. So what I made for you today is low-carb, keto-friendly breads. 4 different ways that I discovered back when I did low carb, seriously low carb, I guess last year maybe. I've eaten low carb since then, but I wasn't like doing low carb. Does that make sense? So these were some breads that I discovered because I'll tell you, I'm missing bread right now. I really am. And since the weight loss surgery, if you're new here, I had gastric bypass surgery on October the 4th, and we're supposed to eat low carb. 50 carbs or less a day, and bread, regular bread, on the occasion, if I want it, I will fit it in there somehow. But as an everyday thing, it's not feasible to fit in as a regular item. And we're supposed to say low carb, high protein, I guess what I'm trying to say. So these are some breads that I can fit in to my diet without breaking the carb bank. So what we have, let me see if I can remember, because like I said, I've done this over a few days. We did Keto Wonder Bread Chaffle. And I was talking on my video, my weigh-in video, about wonder why they call it a chaffle. Because I know what a chaffle is. A chaffle is eggs and cheese. There's where you get the chaffle. But this does not have cheese in it. But they still call it a chaffle. So that's what I call it. But it's made on the little mini dash waffle pan. And then I made a 90-second low-carb bread that you make in the microwave in a mug. And then I made Fathead Dough, which is part of my meal prep video. But I'm just breaking off the bread part to put in this video. But you may, if you've seen my meal prep already, then you've seen that. So don't think you're going cuckoo. That is part of that video, but it's Fathead Dough, and you can Google and research all kind of ways that you can use Fathead Dough. And then biscuits, low carb keto biscuits. That's what I just made today. Why can I not remember that? That's what I just finished. And I don't know if David will eat those for breakfast with his country ham, or if he'll have some jelly on there. I don't know what he'll do, but they're over there. They're hot and ready. So that is what I'm bringing you today. 4 ways with low-carb bread. You may be doing low carb and you need some bread. Or you just may be wanting to cut your carbs back for the holidays to make room for the other stuff. Maybe you want to cut back your bread carbs to make room for your cake carbs. I can get on board with that. I feel you. I can vibe with you. So whatever reason it is that you want some low-carb bread, I think I got you covered today in 4 different ways to make it. So let's turn around and get started baking that bread. To make our Keto Wonder Bread Chaffle, I am preheating my little mini dash, and you'll see it's my snowflake since it's wintertime. What I have here, and I just put it in this because it's easier to pour out for me. I have 1 egg that I beat with my fork and a pinch of salt. To that, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise. Use your favorite. A tablespoon of almond flour. An 1/8 teaspoon of baking powder. And a teaspoon of water. I'm just going to mix that really, really well. See what I mean? There's no cheese in it whatsoever. But we do want to get that mayonnaise mixed in. Okay, this will make 2, so try to kind of gauge evenly. Let me see if I can tell how much is in there. Oh, about 1/3 of a cup. One may turn out to be bigger than the other, but If it does, you can join my party because that's how I cook. Okay, you can tell I didn't get that one completely full. So, see, there's my little snowflake. This one's probably going to be over full. This is why I keep a paper towel underneath it for if I get overflow. Okay, as you can see, I've already wiped it up. I did have some spillover, but you see how nice and thick that one is? I might have could let it go a little bit longer. But it's gonna be a soft bread. It's not gonna be crunchy or crispy. So yeah, just be sure you divide your batter a little bit more evenly than I did. But anyway, that is our Keto Wonder Bread Chaffle, ready to make any kind of sandwich you want to make. Now we're going to make 90-second low-carb bread. I have a good-sized mug. I like to use the oversized mugs for this. This is one I have got at the Dollar Tree many years ago, and they still sell them. I think I've been seeing red ones here lately, but any like oversized coffee cup mug will do. Maybe even a bigger ramekin. I've melted 1 tablespoon of butter. I'm going to need 1 egg. I sprayed my cup too. And then, let's see, let's just beat that up a second. And 3 tablespoons of almond flour. 1, 2, 3, and a half a teaspoon of baking powder. Now, I've never added any of the seasonings to this. I guess you could if you wanted to. Salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, whatever you want to do. And we just need to mix this up really well. Try to get all the dry pockets of flour out and get that egg mixed in. You don't want a piece of cooked egg in your bread. You want your egg mixed in really well. You see, it's nice and smooth. Looks like a cornbread batter. So you just need to microwave this for 90 seconds. Okay, there you have your little bread. Just take your butter knife and run it around the edges so it doesn't stick. We got it sprayed. Dump it out onto a little cutting board. And you can see how thick it is. You can toast it now. You can eat it like it is. I have always pan fried mine. When I was doing low carb, I really didn't care about the butter content. I would put a little bit of butter. Right now I just have a little bit of olive oil spray. So let's slide over that way. And it's spongy just like bread because it's made with flour. It just happens to be almond flour. So we're just going to let that fry on both sides and get it a little toasty. So here are your 2 perfectly toasted, you can see, pieces of bread. You can use them separately with jam or jelly or apple butter or just butter, whatever you want to do. You can put them together, make you a nice thick sandwich. Make 2 open-faced sandwiches. Peanut butter. Listen, I've had peanut butter on here when they're warm. It's good. So however you want to eat it, you just have 2 nice little round pieces of bread. So there is our 90-second low-carb bread. Now we will make some low-carb biscuits. You're going to sift these ingredients. I have 2 cups of almond flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and a half a teaspoon of salt. And we're just going to sift it in this little wire. You can use a hand sifter if you have one of those, you know, the old-timey crank. I don't have one of those. I just use this, and it always works fine. We just want to get out any like lumps from the almond flour and just get a softer flour as we can, since we're not using like regular wheat flour. Because you know, if you've made anything with almond flour before, you know that it's a lot more dense. Okay, now we're down to the bottom. I'm just going to push this through. Okay, and just be done with it. So let me set this aside. Hold on. All right, now we'll set that bowl aside. And in here I have melted butter. Measure 1/3 cup of butter and then melt it, which happens to be 5 tablespoons plus 1/3 of a tablespoon. And we need 2 eggs. I'm just going to beat this together until it's nice and combined. Okay, I think that'll do it. Then we're going to pour the eggs and the butter into the flour. And we're just going to mix it just until it's combined. You don't need to go crazy with it. Okay, now we have a parchment lined baking sheet, and we're just going to drop this by spoonfuls. So about that big. You can flatten it out. My paper's moving out. These are the little parchment paper sheets that you get from Dollar Tree, by the way. I just have 2 of them on there. Okay, if you size them like me, this last one's a little bit bigger, I think, because there's just that much left in the bowl. Not too bad. You're going to get roughly 9 biscuits. These will go in a 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes. Yeah, see, that was a little bit bigger. So just keep an eye on them. They're going to turn brown and set up, but you don't want to get them too dark, because then they'll be even more dense. All right, this is after 15 minutes. See, it's nice and brown. It's starting to get brown on the little tops. This step is optional, and you could actually use real butter. I just taken the easy way out. This, I can't believe it's not butter spray. To me, it has a good flavor, and I don't have to mess up anything else to clean. Or you don't have to put anything on it at all. I just thought, give it a good little flavor. So I will just set these out. You see, that one did turn out bigger, but it's okay. It got done. I will just set these out on a plate to cool before I package them up. And I'm going to see if you hold on just a second. Okay, I just wanted to cut one open. Had to get a knife. I hope it's not too. It's not. Get your knife, nice sharp knife. Serrated is the best. There's our little biscuits. So if you're doing low carb or keto and you need some bread, and everybody else in your family is having a biscuit for breakfast, there you go. Make yourself some biscuits. Wrap these individually very tightly. Pop them in the freezer. Pull them out one at a time. You have 9 days worth of biscuits. However you want to do it. You want to eat them all, you can eat them all. I ain't here to tell you what to do. So that will do it for our low carb biscuits. The first thing we have to do for our stuffed biscuits is make the dough. This is called Fathead Dough. This is popular in the keto low carb community. I used to make it and make pizza out of it. It's a really good dough. So the first thing you need is a big enough bowl, because you're going to have to stir this to beat the band. 2 cups of mozzarella cheese, just shredded mozzarella cheese, and 2 ounces of cream cheese. This is regular cream cheese. I'm not sure if fat-free would work or not, because I've never tried it with that. All you need to do, and the cream cheese is not softened, you microwave this in 30-second intervals, stirring after each interval. You want to microwave it until the cream cheese is softened and the mozzarella cheese starts to melt, because we're going to stir this, like I said, just to beat the band. We're really going to get in there and get it combined. So let me do that, and I'll tell you how many seconds it took mine. Mine took 90 seconds. I've not stirred it after the last 30 seconds. You can see how it's melted, and the cream cheese had already melted. So now what we're going to do is we are going to stir and stir and stir until this is all combined. You want that cream cheese all combined in that mozzarella cheese. Get you a good sturdy spoon or spatula to do this. Okay, now we need 2 eggs. I put a little bit of salt and pepper in them. We're going to beat those up. And to this, we're going to add 1 cup of almond flour. And again, we're going to stir, stir, stir. Now, we are going to put the almond flour into the cheese. And stir, stir, stir. Okay, we pretty much got this combined as good as I'm going to get it anyway. And this part reminds me, I've got to start pumping iron. If you're weak in your forearms, this might not be the dough for you, because you really got to give it something. So hold on, we'll get a piece of plastic wrap. And we will sprinkle it with a little bit more almond flour. Put this dough out here. We'll just roll it around. Because we are now going to, see, we got a nice little dough ball. It took some work, but it's a nice dough. If you're doing low carb and you want some bread, here you go. We're going to wrap this up in the, I'm going to wash my hands first. Wrap this up in the plastic wrap and refrigerate it until it's firm. I don't know how long to tell you. You just need to go back and keep checking it. I will try to keep a check on my clock to let you know how long it took for mine. So we're going to do that now. Okay, so my dough set in the refrigerator for an hour, and it's perfect in this little rectangle because I want to shape this into a rectangle. But let me tell you, this dough, before I start with my recipe, you can Google all the ways to use this dough. Pizza, that's how I mostly used it before. Pizza, bagels, garlic bread, rolls, calzones, stuffed biscuits. So you just do Google uses for fathead dough, and you will find a multitude of uses if you are trying to save carbs on your bread. Now,